Yo, people, back again for another week. Sorry for eating, but yeah, we back again for another week. New thing as usual. I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, you might know the usuals. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. We're at 69 subs. The year ends in a month's time. We've been going for almost a year now, almost hitting there. So should we have a target? Maybe 80 subs by the end of the year. I think that's a fair one. I'm going safe right now, but you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your people. But yeah, let's get straight into it. El Sacrificed. I think that's how you say it. El Sacrificed, whatever it is. And what came about it was Oli sacrificed Nuno. He sacrificed him. He took him to the hills, and Nuno's no more. He's gone. It's actually kind of weird now how to structure it because so much has happened now that it's kind of changed the course. So obviously going to get on about Conte. So let's go from the game, and then we'll go on to Nuno, then Conte. So let's start with the game. I want to get your thoughts. Dan, what was your thoughts on the game? Like, what did you think of Oli switching to a back three and just the performance in general?
I think it's been not like, I don't think they've been needing it, but the back three specifically, but I think due to them moving to a back three, they became more compact. And obviously they have more defenders on the pitch. They were a lot better defensively. Granted, Spurs have been awful going forward and probably the worst in the league going forward. So there might be an aspect of that. But Man United definitely were more structured defensively in that game. And I think that was a big reason why they performed well. Spurs, I don't know what to say really about Spurs because they were incredibly poor, like really, really poor. I don't think they had a shot on target for long periods of the game. And Harry Kane, I think he's a ghost of himself, really. Like, Levy, obviously, he didn't want to sell his best player, his biggest asset. And for Conte coming in, Harry Kane might be one of the reasons why he chose to pick that job. But as of right now, he's very, very poor, very poor. And if we're being honest, I think he's gotten off very lightly from the media. Because if there was another player, I know people like using Paul Pogba as the perfect example of this, but if Paul Pogba had done what Harry Kane had done in terms of he's made it clear he wants to leave and then down tools in every game, then he'd be getting called out. Huh?
Pogba does it every season. Let's move on.
Hey. We'll slide past that one really quickly. But from a Man United perspective, obviously it's a big win. But the question I've got really is, in the grand scheme of things, I think the vast majority of Man United fans are Oli out at this point. In the grand scheme of things, would you rather have won that game and keep Oli for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, a month, probably even longer, or lost that game and maybe getting a new manager? Because I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if that win does anything for United in the grand scheme of things. But for Spurs, we know with Conte coming in, that loss, in my opinion, it will probably propel them to top 4, top 5, top 6. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Let's go. United correspondent to answer that. What does this mean?
Yeah, I'm back.
Mean?
I never ever want to ever see my team lose. So the whole fans wanting us to lose so Oli could get sacked, I think was a bit. I can't lie. I'll be honest. I stand it, but I'll never ever want my team to lose. But Dan's right. It's not a good thing for us because of Oli's been poor. I want him out. I think majority of Man United fans want him gone because of he's just showing that he's just not capable of doing the job properly with the team that he had. The embarrassment at Liverpool. Ronaldo, I feel like Ronaldo saved his job at least 3 times this season because he had the Villarreal game, he had the Atalanta game, and I know we won 3-0, but Ronaldo had the opening goal in this game as well. So I feel like the players have kept him in a job. A lot of people were saying, the players need to take accountability. Players are performing decently. I think it's just the manager doesn't know how to manage the players in a sense. So I feel like this was a big win for Tottenham. Even though they lost, it was a win for them. It was a win for them. I don't care. Because if they've got the guy that we all wanted, now Conte is going to Tottenham. It was loser takes all, essentially. Because of we wanted Conte, they wanted Conte, they lost the match, and now they've got a world-class manager and we're stuck with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's just a trash situation. Obviously, I'm happy that we won, but when the result is you lose out on one of the best managers in the market at the moment to the team that you beat, it's not really, doesn't leave you with a good feeling. So I don't want to say that I would have liked us to lose because I never want my team to lose, but at the same time, I can understand why people would think that.
Just to touch on fans wanting their team to lose, everybody's entitled to support a team how they feel like it. But I don't know. I feel like it just kind of goes against the whole purpose of supporting.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'd never ever want my team to lose. I don't care how bad.
Can you not see like long term?
I can see
because like if you're stuck in it's I want to call it purgatory really, where
stuck in limbo,
you're not
like
winning enough and you're not losing. So like I can see why they want him to get sacked so they can actually progress. But I do agree it's a bit extreme.
I wouldn't want our team losing in any scenario, in any circumstance. As a fan, you want to win every single game. I don't care if Oli wins the game and he stays in our job and we miss out on Conte. Obviously, I'm a bit upset that we've missed out on Conte. But at the end of the day, he could have won the game and the board could have looked at it and said, no, he's the man to take us forward. They could have done it against Liverpool and sacked him. So we can't say, let's hope that he loses so he gets sacked. At the end of the day, you can't. It's the board's job to make the decision on whether a manager gets sacked, whether they win or lose. So I don't see how us losing. I don't see why people would want us to lose games so that Oli can get sacked. I think it's a bit odd, but yeah, I always want the best for my club. I feel like
because like Dan's saying, I totally understand what people are looking at in terms of it looks nice. Like it's a short term buzz in it, but long term is not really benefiting anybody. But I don't know, things will always like what's the saying, like what's true will always come to pass in a sense. Like the fact that Ollie's not good enough, it will be to a point where it can't be denied in it. So I don't know, I feel like sometimes you just gotta let life just take its course. I don't really like doing this, undermining the manager in order to suit my agendas and stuff like that.
If we're being honest, what he's doing is he's delaying the inevitable. We know that eventually he is going to get sacked because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not have he doesn't have the juice to win us the title. He does not. He's shown that in the early stages of the season. We've probably had the easiest run-in out of the top 4 or the top 6, and we're sitting in what, 5th?
I don't even know, to be honest.
We're 5th and we've had the easiest run-in out of everybody in the top 6, and we're level on points with you guys as well. You've had a harder run-in than us, and you had a terrible start as well. So it just goes to show that. And even last season, he had that terrible first run. I don't know. Somehow he always finds a way out of it. This season, I feel like a title is expected, and I feel like it's too far gone now. So what's the point in him being here if you can't deliver us that, personally?
All right, you've been quiet. What's your thoughts? What was your thoughts on that game? What did you see from Oli back 3?
I mean, same thing I've always seen, per se. Tottenham were awful, so I'll never really rate a manager's performance against, especially how Tottenham were doing. Obviously, kudos to still getting the job done and stuff like that. But a lot of managers have given Spurs 3 goals. So, but obviously, still a good result from Ole and stuff like that in terms of at least getting the job done still. Because they could have lost to Spurs and that would have been awful. But probably would have gone in the sack, which most United fans would have wanted. But yeah, in terms of wanting your team to lose, I'm not also buying that. I wouldn't be on the, if I was a United fan, I'd probably be Ole out, but I wouldn't want us, like, United to lose, more or less. There's this popular saying that whatever is going to happen will happen. So I feel like you just need to just, like, do what you do, support your team, and because at the end of the day, obviously it's not, but if Ole wins every single game to the end of the season, United win the league more or less, I feel. So if you always have to go into every game hoping you win, it's just something that you have to do as a fan and just hope for the best. But yeah, if Ole is going to go, he would go eventually. So I feel there's nothing that would happen or nothing you can do to push that forward, because at the end of the season, or even close to the season, when it's very evident that he's not going to do anything or not going to, he would eventually go. So, but I think United fans are really just trying to salvage the season, so try and get it, try to do something. Although I think the season is most likely gone already, even with a new manager coming in. I just think the squad imbalances and already the gap to Chelsea, I think it's already gone. But yeah, in terms of Spurs, I know everybody's, like, obviously on the Conte train and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm not the biggest Conte fan. I feel like he would struggle a lot with this Spurs squad, just in terms of the profiles that he's going to have to handle, first of all. Then it all depends on Kane or what, like, Kane has to offer till the end of the season. I don't think Spurs have a lot of good players, if I'm being real. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect from Conte, towards the end of the season. But I guess we just have to find that out, in my opinion. But yeah.
With before I go to you, Denzel, with what Ollie did with the back three, I think, like Dan was saying, obviously more defenders, it was a lot more compact. They defended well. Bruno helped a lot, especially in the defensive third. You saw him dropping deep, making a 3-man midfield. Cavani's work rate was very evident as well. So I thought it was a very good, not very good actually. I don't think United were excellent, but it was a good team performance. I don't think we learned anything. We know Ronaldo is a goal scoring phenom. We know Cavani offers the work rate needed. So it was kind of just going back to basics, seeing a bit deeper, very conservative. The question is the five at the back long term? I don't think so. A couple shout outs. Obviously I've been very harsh on him, but I thought Wan-Bissaka was good. McTominay was good as well. Those two in particular I think they were very good performances. But Denzel, you wanted to say something?
I was going to even talk about the three at the back. I was going to say it's interesting how I know it's a big game, but Tottenham they haven't really been an attacking outfit under Nuno. So I wouldn't say it was a game in which you would think, oh, well, let me slap three at the back, because Tottenham, they've looked toothless up front this season. Like, if it was against Man City, I'd understand more. I just thought it was interesting how he was under scrutiny and under pressure, and the guy who was lined up to take his job, essentially, he just bit his whole flow and decided to go with the formation that Conte would most likely implement at United if he did come, but obviously we know he's going to Tottenham now. And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, Ole's gone to three at the back. It shows that he can switch up. It shows that he's tactically aware. And I was thinking, like, that performance that we saw there, you're going to see an elevation of that under Conte. Like, so if anything, that performance there tells me that this is the basic version of what we're going to see if we appointed the manager that we want. So I don't know. Like, I feel like it was a bit strange how he kind of he was under pressure, and then he looked at the guy who was possibly taking his job and decided to adopt his style of football. But obviously, you have to adapt to the game. You have to do what you need to do to keep your job, essentially. So I do respect it in a sense. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting, the formation. Very interesting.
Can I ask though, with the three at the back, Man United's biggest asset, really, or one of their biggest assets, is their attacking firepower. You got Bruno, you got Ronaldo, Cavani, Rashford, Sancho, Pogba. With the three at the back, how does that fit even half of them players in long term?
The thing is, it doesn't. But if you get yeah, exactly, it doesn't. But I don't care if you win trophies with that system. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about seeing people blitzing defenders on the pitch and doing stepovers or whatever. I don't. As long as we win trophy, I know it's like it is quite hypocritical because we had Mourinho and we were saying, oh, the football was negative, but it's got to a point where we've tried the the negative for one Mourinho. Maybe it was a bit washed, whatever.
He
We've
won
tried the
trophies,
whole.
though.
Yeah, but they weren't major trophies. We've tried the whole Ollie ball thing. Haven't done anything. Like, I don't know. It's a tough one, I guess. It's do you want good football or do you want to win trophies? Ideally, you want both.
Guarantees, because I think people always think like if you sit back and defend, it guarantees success. Because if you play negative football and you don't win, that's like even worse than trying to attack.
Yeah.
Like, especially with all this attacking power on the bench. Like, that's why I think if Oli keeps up this 3 at the back and it doesn't go to plan, his sacking will come even quicker. Because if you've got all these players on the bench and you're not playing them and you're playing badly, looks worse.
I just think he's only going to do it for the big games and the games in which he feels like he could possibly lose, or in games in which he knows that he's going to get dominated possession-wise. That's why I was a bit confused why he did against Tottenham, because the Tottenham aren't really an amazing side. But it worked out for him. So I feel like he'll do the same thing against City. Probably when he played the likes of Chelsea as well, he'll do it. Did he do it against Liverpool? Or he tried a high press against Liverpool, didn't he? Yeah. So I feel like that formation maybe he should have done against Liverpool even, and not done the whole high press thing. I feel like we would have lost anyway, but we just maybe wouldn't have got embarrassed as much as we did if we played that formation.
I'll be real. I'm not a huge fan of 3 at the back. I mean, I'm not like, I basically just don't like the formation, but I've been playing three centre backs in the back. I think it always, mostly for me, it always screams short term and just like trying to accommodate more or less. And I have seen a pattern of just like 3 at the back lasting for shorter periods, it not being sustainable, getting problems in terms of player profiles, when players start to go, replacing certain players, things like that. So it doesn't scream long term. Like, how many world-class right wing backs are there in the world when you think about it? How many world-class left wing backs are there in the world when you think about it? It's easier to go into the market and get like a right back than get a right wing back and things like that. So just so many things wrong with the three centre back formation that I really like. Conte, I feel obviously he's the best embodiment of it in like this level of football. Like Conte, he does win trophies and stuff with his 3 at the back. That's what Tuchel's using now. Chelsea, he won the Champions League with it. He's top of the league. But like I said, I don't think it's sustainable. I like to see how Tuchel does towards the end of the season. But Ole, you just switch into this 3 at the back. It seems like a rushed move. Like it screams your job is under pressure, and him just doing that, I feel, is more or less the beginning of the end. Just like how Denzel was just saying that, like in the next couple of games, if he keeps on using it and they don't keep doing it, like that's his last roll of the die, more or less, 3 at the back thing. And I personally don't think it's going to work. So I do think he would be gone sooner rather than later, even though I did think that United would. I thought Liverpool was the last straw, really. I thought he should have been gone by then, but I feel it would just take a couple more games. I feel once he just drops below like some certain teams, even once he drops, like if there's a reasonable gap between us, Arsenal and United, I feel there's no way they'll be like taking that. No disrespecting my own club, but I'm sure they would just feel like, if, in terms of going into the season and how poor we were last season, I mean, we did finish 8th, they finished 2nd. If we do manage to go on top of United and a couple other teams manage to go on top of United and they just drop further down the table, I feel it would be gone. The next couple of games, I think they play City next. I mean, that is, I think they just, if he does beat City, which he usually does, if he does beat City, I think he buys himself a bit more time. So I know a lot of United fans would be, slightly hoping he doesn't win that. But I mean, at the end of the day, let's just see how that one goes. It will be interesting to see the 3 at the back against City, though, if he uses that. But it will be interesting to see how he plays against City.
Touching on with the 3 at the back, I don't even like the front 3 dynamics of Bruno, Cavani, and Ronaldo. If this is Ronaldo,
is it a front 3 though? Is it a front 3? It's not front 3.
It is kind of like Bruno's in.
It's not. It's a front 2. I don't think it's a front 3.
You can say that, but I don't know. Is Bruno is the one in behind, and then you have Cavani and Ronaldo. They don't even really split because Ronaldo doesn't really go out. He did go out wide a bit, but it's a thing of I just don't like the profiles, man. I don't really like it. Like if this was Ronaldo of early Madrid, fair enough. Cavani, Bruno, fair enough. But I thought it was kind of limited in a sense where there isn't a lot of dynamism in there. They can't really change the game a lot. It's very much based on, would you say chaos? But it's like, they can't really make something happen, if you get what I'm saying. And Bruno can, but I don't know, that front three, I don't feel like is a very sustainable front three. I feel like it can easily get nullified. But I mean, when you have someone like Ronaldo, he will score you goals anyway. So, but
yeah,
over
I understand. But
90
even if he sticks with that formation per se, it's not going to be Ronaldo and Cavani every single game because of those two are quite old. So he'll switch it up. He'll slip in Rashford. He'll slip in Greenwood. He's going to rotate. I don't think he's going to stick with this formation, by the way. I just think he'll do it for the big games and then.
Has Ollie's never really rotated in his managerial career. He always sticks with the same starting 11. That's one thing he does quite a lot. So I don't know if he will. I think Ollie finds something that might half work and thinks I'm doing this all the time.
There's a high chance that this is the team he'll go for against City. I mean, most likely. I'd like for Rashford to start there. I mean,
you'd have to play Rashford.
Exactly. If you have to play Rashford. So who does he drop then? Maybe Cavani.
Yeah,
probably seems.
Cavani offers you the work rate though that you want.
But Rashford offers you work rate as well. Now that he's come back from the shoulder injury, I think he works.
On paper, I think Rashford, Cavani would make more sense than Ronaldo, Rashford. I think just like dynamics wise, But we'll see how that goes. Then there's not looking like any space for Sancho in this team again.
Even Greenwood. How's Greenwood gonna get into
Greenwood. I mean, Greenwood is a striker, but I mean, I don't think he's just at the level to be playing there. But to be fair, trying Greenwood in a two-striker system would make sense because then you can learn off like the other striker and stuff like that. But let's see how he plays against or what he goes for against City. Would be a very interesting game, especially they're also like crazy because if United beat City, they're level on points. And then it now seems like, how are you sacking Ole for being level on points with? And that's why the whole thing now. So if he does like beat City, then he is safe. He buys up a lot of time. But
that's the one thing when I was you saw the reaction from when they lost to Liverpool. They were not planning on sacking him anytime soon. They were not planning on sacking him. You could just tell they didn't have. To be fair,
if you're losing 5-0 to your biggest rivals of all time at your own ends, and you're not going after that, I don't think there's anything else that would push him away.
Because of
I think only something very embarrassing like Norwich like slapped them up or something like that. Then I think it's going to
any other like 5-0 to Liverpool's more embarrassing than Norwich.
Yeah,
that is
because in Liverpool
and your ends like that
exactly.
Was,
and that's what happened with Mourinho as well. That was the end of Mourinho. The Liverpool
that is literally how you know that there is no. That's how you know there is no fan representation in their board. Because if I was a fan of like Arsenal and we got slapped fat, I would go down there myself and I would say, get out of my club, man. Like, but I don't know how he survived that. To be fair, but let's see.
Ollie Judge, innit? Ollie Judge.
Yeah, man. He does sacrifices. We know that. But
after City, you play Watford, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that's a game we could lose.
So I think it's City, Watford, then Chelsea, Arsenal. Yeah,
I feel like he'll beat Chelsea. I feel like we'll lose against Arsenal.
Yeah, he has a bad record against Arteta.
He has a bad record, But just imagine if he beats City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. He's not leaving this season for sure. For sure.
He's safe. He's safe.
He's literally safe if he does that.
But it all depends what happens in Champions League. So if we go and lose to Atalanta,
that's true.
Tomorrow.
But I think you would come out with breakthrough. You should. I mean, you're first now. Like on paper,
only purely based on Ronaldo.
On paper, it doesn't look that bad, really. It's just because like of the expectations that Ronaldo brought to your team and like the level that you guys expect to be playing at now. That's why like there is a lot of pressure. But on paper, because you are top of your group and like you are like if you beat City, you're level on points to City, and that's like. But to be fair, City have been poor, so there's that.
I think we have to talk about City, but we'll talk about them towards the end. But
we'll talk about
let's keep to Spurs. We spoke about Nuno a lot, but you do feel sorry for him because
Yeah, it was
I don't know if
unfair.
you saw it. You know when he took off Lucas Moura and the whole crowd started booing, and I was like, yeah, this guy.
Let's be honest, he wasn't given a chance because Spurs fans and Spurs boards and even Spurs players, in my opinion, I think none of them wanted Nuno and none of them were actually willing to, number one, give him a chance, and two, accept him to a certain extent. Because, like, you know, his first 10 games, he's won 5 of them, which is not the best, but it's not awful. And his first 10 games, he has more points than Pochettino got in his first 10 games as Spurs manager. And I understand the football was absolutely dire and the way they looked was bad, but I think they looked for the first hurdle he came to. I think they were looking to get rid of him anyway.
It's insane that he won the manager of the month in August.
Yeah.
And he won the manager of the month in August, and he's gone by end of October. That is
it's just harsh. It's so harsh.
I personally think it was harsh, but it's also very like smart and it's bold and it's just like it's something I don't think I've really seen from Spurs in a long time, because they weren't just focused on looking at the table and stuff. Because at the end of the day, they are 2 points behind us. They're 2 points behind United. They are 4 points behind City. So at the end of the day,
it's the way they're playing though. They're playing horrible.
So that's the thing. I'm very surprised that the board are actually looking at like the level of football they're playing at, which is a lot of boards don't do that. They just mostly look at like what position are you on the table. 15, not that bad. 2 points behind, not that bad. But they actually did look at the like type of football, and it's embarrassing to be fair, because 3 against Palace, considered 3 against Chelsea, considered 3 against Arsenal, considered 3 against United is just I don't know. I think there's another team they considered 3 too. I think that was it. But I mean, they lost all the London derbies, lost to West Ham. I mean, and it's not like even they played appalling football in all those games. Like nothing. They didn't even show any sparks. All their players seem dead. So I guess they just say they had enough, more or less. And the fans didn't help and all of that. So yeah, I think it was harsh because he's a nice guy and all. But at the end of the day, football is a business, like I say. So they just had to get rid of him.
100%, man. Like we're saying, it's unfortunate, but it's the game.
They should have never gotten him in the first place.
Yeah,
it was like he wasn't like ready or at that level to do that type of job, and it now just seems very embarrassing for him how he just came and like left, in just 2 months and stuff like that. But
I think it's because
he wouldn't struggle finding like another job, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just not like at the top level, obviously, but like maybe a mid or like a bottom half Prem team. Mid-table, yeah, maybe mid-table.
Yeah.
Denzel?
I feel like because of Conte was there lurking in the shadows, it didn't help him at all. Because of realistically, it was only what how many games was it? 17?
No, he's playing 17 games.
Yeah, 17 games, and you've sacked him already. I just feel like it's very, very harsh.
Only 10 Prem games. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's very, very harsh.
He played in the Conference League a lot. So.
It's an odd thing. But I feel like because of the pressure on Oli as well, I feel like that impacted their decision. Because if they were like, if Oli loses his next game, Conte, we lose Conte, and now we're stuck with
that's true.
They're probably Francesco, the Donny from Roma.
Fonseca,
Fonseca, that's it. So I feel like they know they want Conte. They know Conte is their man. That was their original man to begin with at the beginning of the season. And I don't know what Daniel Levy's done. I have no clue. Probably decided to pull the money from the bank, cash in the little suitcase. He's probably decided to do that, but I don't know. Yeah, now they've got their man, I guess. But it is really unfair on Nuno. Very unfair.
Yeah. Let's talk about Conte then. Let's segue that into Conte. What would be their best?
I have a take though.
Yeah.
Quickly.
What's your take?
Can I just quickly say I don't think he lasts over 2 years. I think a year and a half and he's gone. Whether that's based on him or whether that's based on the club, he's gonna get pissed off with Levy. It's either he's gonna get pissed off with Levy because the Levy's not giving him what he wants. We've seen it happen with Tottenham time and time again, or he's just not going to be up to standard because if he won't be able to do anything with the squad that Levy gives him. So either way, because you signed a big. If I carry on.
Yeah, the thing is that Conte himself would have his own agents and all of that. So in his contract, all these things, like I don't know if like all this stuff work, but I'm sure there would be something in there that would guarantee
this much this one.
Yeah, not like I know it doesn't really work like that per se. Like, oh, we have to spend you have to give me 150 million. But I know there would definitely be something in that contract that has to kind of do with Conte being back. Or else he's not going to Spurs, because Spurs have a reputation and Levy also has a reputation. I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure the people he works with know that and all of that. So sure there is something in there that probably just protects him slightly. But I do hear that like him being frustrated and stuff and things like that. And I just think Spurs are also just like, obviously I'm not that superstitious, but I just think Spurs are low-key just like a boogie team, low-key. Like I don't think whatever coach they bring in is going to win them anything really. I just think they would just never. I just think they just losers. It's just in their DNA.
Just Carling Cup FC, that one Carling Cup in like what? That's what they're living on.
It's something they will never have that juice. Like they don't even have the I don't know. Nah, Spurs.
You don't have the facilities for it, big man. That's what it is.
They're Spurs are never going to be that team. That's why I'll never be worried about Spurs, like regardless of who they bring in. Like maybe they've already like a very, very, very top coach, maybe like Pep or something. But still, I'm just not really worried about Spurs. Even Conte coming there and stuff like that. I don't think he wins them the league. Maybe he wins them a trophy. Maybe he just does it like a cheeky FA Cup or something. But,
Carabao Cup thing.
Carabao Cup thing, yeah. But
now West Ham will probably knock them out of that if they ever meet again.
That's true.
So
what is 11 be if we're looking at it?
In Spurs,
It's probably
Son
Son
recent
and Kane
goal.
up top, you know.
Yeah.
Son and Kane will be his two strikers.
I don't think
Højbjerg,
regular Don. What?
that's a regular Don.
Regular Don.
We'll play him, man.
Do you think Doherty or who's their other right?
Emerson. We'll play Emerson.
Doherty. Nah, you'll play Doherty.
We'll play Emerson.
You think he'll play?
Doherty's
Because
more
Doherty played in the
attacking.
free.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Doherty's like a right wing back, really.
I think he'll play Rodon for some reason. I don't know why I think he will.
He just seems
He'll
like a
play
Conte
Rodon.
guy, innit? He seems like a
Yeah,
Conte
I think he'll
guy,
play
innit?
like Rodon, probably Sanchez and Romero. And like Rodon, I think Rodon he'll just keep there randomly.
I think he'll probably be starting Tanganga, maybe.
I
He
think
might play
Tanganga.
Tanganga as a right centre back, really. Then midfield of Højbjerg, Winks. I think he'll play Winks.
Yeah, Winks. So said Winks.
The return.
Winks seems like a Conte guy. Who else is in that midfield again? I don't know, man. They have such a dead team.
We know that Ndombele and Dele Alli are just not.
Ndombele,
They're not in that
Ndombele
team.
is not.
They might as well.
Don't count on Ndom. Don't count him out. Don't count him out, man.
Bro, I know
What
you
do
love
you
his
mean?
dribbling, but he's not a Conte baller. He's not built for.
Bro, Conte works. Conte is like that, like strict teacher in like secondary school or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's like he works his players, man. Like he works them seriously. Like even what he did to Lukaku is just in overall, like he completely changed. To be fair, he could transform in Ndombele, maybe. But
Mourinho tried that and it didn't work. But then again,
Mourinho had him.
Mourinho's approach is probably not the best, like considering how
Mourinho had him training in the car park during COVID.
But I'm sure, but for some reason, I kind of do see Conte as like this motivational guy that can like push you to do like beyond your. He's a coach that I would low-key like to play for, actually. But yeah, I just
I think
don't
he'll
like
play Lo Celso as well. I think Lo
I
Celso
think
working
Lo
hard.
Celso. I think he probably will play Lo Celso. But yeah, his front two is definitely Son and Kane. You know, he just plays like midfield. Yeah, I like to see how he goes like that. But I feel he would struggle with his profiles. Then January, he'll probably go on like some spending runs, sign like a lot of players and stuff.
Yes, about center.
What he's gonna do,
Yeah,
he's gonna next summer, he's gonna sign a midfielder and Skriniar, and he'll slap Skriniar in the middle of that back
In the
three.
middle, yeah, and he'll probably sell. He'll definitely sell Kane. He might be trying to sell Kane in January.
No, one thing about Conte, he loves his middle centre back to be the most technically gifted. So Luiz, Bonucci, and De Vrij.
True.
Even though Bastoni was very good technically, but he likes some technical. So I don't know who he would go for. Who's a good technical?
Who was your
I
in
suppose
Chelsea?
Ben Link was Skriniar before
Who was your who were your back three at Chelsea when was it Cahill,
Cahill,
Terry,
Aspie. He dropped John Terry. He dropped him.
Oh yeah. He dropped on Terry. He dropped on Terry.
Did not hear
He's
from
got
Saturday.
big balls, man.
Remember
balls,
KO?
man.
He had KO playing like some insane football.
No, KO wasn't that good. KO wasn't.
He was. I thought he was good under Conte in Chelsea. I thought he was good.
KO's
He was
best
decent.
moment at Chelsea was under Jose, but he was okay.
Fair
He was just okay. And he was just okay.
Yeah. That Victor Moses revivalism as well was nuts. Let's see if you can do that with any of their players. There's gonna be that one Donny.
I think
There's gonna be
Moses
that
would be a
one
good
Donny.
fullback. I think he'd be a good fullback, but he never got the chance.
Who?
Moses.
Oh,
A good fullback,
Yeah, I think he could be a good fullback.
like a right back.
Yeah, I think he could.
Nah, he'll be awful.
I don't think he would be that bad. He never got the chance, but
he's more of
I
a forward
think-
player even.
Yeah.
I think he's those type of players who like his position is low key right wing back, but at the same time,
Yeah,
no one is really going to trust him as a right wing back really, except Conte, because Conte is just like a crackhead really. But,
I feel like there's gonna be that one guy who's no one expects.
no one
to be
expects
that guy,
that. Always have
and
that,
it's gonna
yeah.
make him that guy. Like you said, like Rondo. It might be Rondo. You never know.
Yeah,
Joe Radon, some
He would have
meaty,
that-
or
he
Eric
would have
that
Dyer,
player.
them meaty ballers.
Exactly. Someone's gonna have some nuts revive, like some
Them-
nuts
oh,
revival.
Imagine it's Dele Alli.
That would be nuts. I don't think it will be because Dele Alli doesn't work hard.
We say
I know that.
Pogba's been unlocking, but how many seasons they've been trying to revive Dele Alli?
Yeah.
Already,
Like
I thought
5
this is the
seasons.
sixth season of reviving Dele Alli, man. I was
Yeah.
laughing. But yeah, it's insane. It will be interesting though. Like this will be the first time that when Spurs got Mourinho, I actually did think Mourinho would do something in Spurs, but
I thought he would win a trophy. minimum.
He could have won a trophy.
He could have won. That was just that's
It's
what I'm
just
saying.
terrible timing.
Mourinho, I think Mourinho is a better coach than Conte, and like the fact
But
Mourinho
now?
couldn't do anything,
now or
just overall.
no,
Just
but right now
generally.
Conte is better.
Hot take. Very hot take.
Fair enough.
Wait, do you think Mourinho with that Inter Milan squad that Conte had last season wins Serie A?
If he made a tweet with himself, I think he would. He's doing a good job in Roma, I feel.
Yeah, he's getting dominated, man.
Period.
And
He's doing alright.
Roma were like very poor like, previously, but I don't know. Yeah.
Roma
Yeah,
again
Conte's
dominated by
very-
AC yesterday. Again, AC.
AC are very bro. AC are cold as hell, man. AC and Napoli are just running away with the top two spots. Well, I think he's trying his best. In terms of now, yeah, I personally Conte is better now. Yeah, let me not mock it too much, but in general, I think Mourinho obviously is like probably just like based on merits and stuff. But I did think Mourinho would do something with because like he even like United were quite bad when he was there, and he still managed to. But he still managed to win. And he was in Spurs when like Kane and Son were like looking crazy and stuff. So it is really surprising. That just shows to me that Spurs are just have that loser DNA in them. They're like they never
This guy's taken so many shots at Tottenham.
they never get to come out from that. So like I
He
just
just
don't really
loves
see.
it.
I
Poch
don't
ever
really
get them
see it.
to a final?
Who?
What?
Did Poch ever get them to a final?
Yeah, Champions
Yeah,
League.
Champions League.
Yeah, the Champions League final.
Oh,
And they still bottled it. So let's see, they're playing very good. They're playing very good football under Poch, and they still, you still couldn't do anything with that. So it's just insane. Like it's insane. Like they just never get to be that team. Like the Spurs fan out, I don't know. I'll be so like sad every day. Really, it's awful.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
Actually,
They've
accepted
I
mediocrity.
hope I'm not jinxing it though. Let's see. But yeah, I don't
They've
think Conte will
accepted
do too much.
mediocrity.
Like I think
That's
a title challenge is just too much. Even like with Conte, with Chelsea, I think it's just too much. Sorry, with Spurs, I think it's just too much. But we'll see how he does.
yeah, I don't see a title challenge with him at Spurs. I don't see that.
It's not.
We also need to talk about how insane this league is getting. Like in terms of we have like all the best like top like
Emery's
coaches
going
in
to
the world.
Newcastle.
Emery is going to Newcastle.
Good
Our manager
evening.
who's won. A
Good
manager
evening.
who's won the Europa League about
Four times.
Four
Four
times.
Nuts.
Is managing in a league where like
Steve
fighting
Bruce's lads.
A relegation team at
this
the
is
moment.
I feel like this is what this is what Perez was talking about with the Super League, and in terms of like dividing like the clubs into, obviously everybody was just like so against it, but if we deep it, the Premier League in itself is a Super League because
the money's
at this rate, it's going to reach a point where like there would be no income from like other leagues and stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, like a lot of people just watch Prem and stuff, and it's just like it's insane, like the revenue they're getting and things like Emery at Newcastle, like deep how crazy that is when you think about it. Like they're 19th. It's turning into Conte is coming to the league as well. Pep, Klopp, Tuchel, like it's just like
might get 10 Hag or Zidane soon.
Becoming like a monopoly league for real.
Shout out
like,
Graham Potter as well.
Yeah,
Graham
man.
Potter. I
Big
mean,
boy
Moyes
Sean
is
Dyche.
doing
Sean Dyche doing his thing too.
Moyes is even like, because all the coaches, I feel a lot of the coaches in Prem are like smarter and tactically better than almost every other coach in like the world and stuff like that. Like it is very, it's stressful playing like in the league, in the Premier League. So but yeah, I mean, Conte coming to the league, he's also a character. So we have like another thing like about entertainment, and now we're getting like so many characters in the league, like Conte and all these, like Conte, even Emery himself is a character as well. So it's like it's going to be very like interesting how everything goes from now. But yeah,
oh, I love it. That's what football's all about. Workplace Premier League. Right at the top. I was gonna ask a question quickly, but like apart from the Prem, because we discussed it, are there any like there are only a few? There's only a handful of world-class managers outside of our league, I think. There's who when you think about it, really, who
Simeone's a world-class manager.
That's what I was thinking. Simeone is the first name that came to my mind.
Simeone is a world-class manager.
Simeone.
I don't think Nagelsmann's
Napoli's coach right now, Spalletti. I wouldn't call him world class, but he is doing an insanely good job with Napoli.
I'll say Nagelsmann's on par with like with them.
He's on par with like Poch.
No,
just below world class.
It's not a world class manager.
Just below world class.
No, I think he's better.
I don't think he's much better than Poch.
In the Prem,
we have Pep. We have Klopp.
Tuchel.
Would you guys put Tuchel in that bracket?
I'll put him there. Just because he's one.
Would you put Conte? Would you put Conte in the bracket, or is it just below? So we have 4 world-class managers just in our league, and we're struggling to find 4 from the rest combined.
I think I'll just put Conte tied below. But yeah, like the fact that we have up to 3 is already insane. Well, Wolves are beating Everton, crazy.
Rafa Benitez.
Benitez under pressure, man.
Under serious. But Everton, they always start so good every season. It's insane, and then they just drop off. But yeah, other leagues is kind of hard in terms of like quality and stuff to find. Like, I think Ten Hag is also just a level below world class, probably. If Zidane, I think Zidane is world class in my opinion. To be fair, if Zidane comes to United, that'll be insane. That'll be like 5 world class, roughly 5 in the league.
But you think Zidane is a world class manager?
I think Zidane is a world class manager.
Yeah,
no, he is. Zidane's definitely world class.
He is, man.
Well, so you guys think Zidane is a better manager than Ten Hag?
I think Zidane is a better manager than Ten Hag. Obviously, I'm
not too sure about that.
I need to see Ten Hag at like. I need to see Ten Hag at like a top level job, because like I don't know who always says this on here. I think it's Josh, but like the pressure of managing like a high level, like that's also, you have to add that tax to it. Yeah, superstars. You have to add that that part to it in terms of like and the fact that Ten Hag hasn't done that yet. That's the reason why. But tactically, he's insane. I think he's better than Zidane tactically. But as a whole, like a manager, like everything all together, like I'd have to put Zidane just ahead, because he was dealing with like
why is he ahead? Is it the man management aspect?
And the fact that he's managed like very big names, the fact that he's obviously like coached all these players upon that, still implemented his style of play, even despite like the players, because it is harder like pushing your style of play on like different like players like Ronaldo, like this, rather than like no disrespect, but player Ajax, obviously like no disrespect in saying that they're not at the level of like Ronaldo, Benzema, like Gareth, people like that. So just based on that fact, and obviously like the Champions League, like winning it 3 times, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's like something
that was insane.
From that's something like from something that you say is impossible, something like that. So
Yeah, it hadn't been done before. So
yeah,
even twice,
so
hadn't been
even
done before.
twice hasn't been done before.
Three times was insane.
3 times is insane. That's something that you'd say would never happen. Like there's those kind of things that. So yeah, that's just the reason why I put him like the level. But yeah, like obviously, like I can see Ten Hag reaching that potential and stuff like that. Like
I think the thing with
Champions League and stuff.
Zidane as well, though, is just like his flexibility. Like you won't say like, I don't want to say he's similar to Fergie, but you know Fergie, like I used to say before, it wasn't like a tactical innovator in that sense.
Yeah.
But with Zidane, it's just like his flexibility. Like we saw him play counter-attacking with Real Madrid when Ronaldo was there, and then he switched to a more defensive system once he left. So it's just like his flexibility in order to change and cater to each team that he has.
Yeah.
And the fact that he won the league when Ronaldo left.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, he did.
So
yeah, that was a big achievement.
I feel like he's shown that this guy is a very
very good coach.
And then the last season as well, where with the amount of injuries that he had, to still be able to,
and like he's still be able to like be that close to Atletico and still like get knocked out in the semi-finals. That was still very, very impressive because they were so like the players they had last season were so poor. And like Vinicius wasn't even balling, like no one was. It was literally only Benzema, like a couple of the players that were doing like a half decent job. And like he had to like accommodate a lot. I think he was playing Vasquez right back. Like there were so many things that he was doing just to like accommodate, and they were still so close to the title. In fact, if they'd won the title last season, there'd be no doubt that he's probably
very
like
close,
top three in the world. But
you think so?
I mean,
it was small margins as well.
Based on accolades,
if he
you have
won
to
the title, but based on like right now, like after Pep on club, yeah, I think I just have to like it's more of you just have to,
You have to give him his flowers, and you could even
You
argue
have
that
to
the team that he's adopting at United is arguably better than the team that he had last season at Madrid.
personnel-wise, probably.
I could say that.
So yeah, so what? Yeah,
well, it's just down. Yeah, it's all interesting to see. Obviously, he had like one of the best midfields ever. So like that's the first thing you'd have to like work out at United.
Yeah, he needs to address the midfield.
Yeah, if he's smart, he wouldn't take this job like halfway into like mid of the season. Like he would wait till next summer.
Start of a new season.
Start of a new season. Yeah.
Wait. We've totally gone off topic, bro. We're talking about Zidane now. Let's get back on track. We're gonna talk about we're still on managers. We're gonna talk about West Ham though. And before we get on to Moyes, let's talk about Dean Smith now, because obviously these men have had a mad transfer window. They've brought in a lot of players to replace Grealish, and I think we're getting to the point now where we're starting to look, okay, what is the foundation looking like? And it's not looking like there's anything there per se for them right now. And it's looking
Josh,
a bit...
Josh, can I go first? Can I go first in this?
I know you have a lot to say about him. Yeah, go.
Yeah. Last summer was very annoying, especially being an Arsenal fan and having Villa fans like try and like form a rivalry with us. Like it was just a joke, really. They sold Grealish and they got all these like like new players that everyone's gassing up and things like that.
These bums.
And I half liked some of the players, thought they had some good traits, but I didn't really see what he was trying to do in terms of like anything like stylish wise or anything like tactically. And like everybody was suddenly just saying, oh, Villa looking like the new team in town, they'll finish. Even though how many claims I saw Villa finishing above Arsenal, you would think that like there was something else behind it. But obviously season's not over, but yeah, that's not happening. You see so many people saying like Villa finished over, like Villa suddenly looks so good that they sold like selling Grealish was smart of them because they got money, 100 M's and I kept on saying that no matter who the players decide, like I think personally Dean Smith is a horrible manager. I think he's like one of the worst in the leagues. Like, and I said that countless of times. And so obviously what they're doing right now is personally not a surprise to me. Without Grealish, like when Grealish used to get injured when in Villa, we used to have like a relegation form more or less. Like when Grealish wasn't playing, it was just more or less like he would lose every game per se. And now they like obviously sold Grealish, so they're having to make do with the players they have. When they got Buendia, everyone was like coming out for missing out on Buendia. I mean, what's happening with Buendia now? But I mean, I could go on for days really, but it's all just down to the Smith just being like awful. him not having a particular style. It was usually more or less just Grealish kind of bailing them out last season on most occasions. There's no player to do that for them now. Yeah, I don't get his style. I don't get what he's trying to do really. A lot of his players aren't really good, so I would really fold that down to. But still,
I can't lie, I disagree with that though. I feel like individually they have got a lot of good players. Not great players, but I think Buendia, Ings, Watkins. I think McGinn's a good player.
I think McGinn is a good player.
Louise.
To be fair, you can make a case that they do have
good players or mediocre players.
No, I think they're good players.
They're slightly above
only
mediocre.
slightly, a lot of them are slightly above mid. Martinez is also like a decent keeper. But
I think a lot of them benefit from playing for Villa. So people Matty Cash is a good example. Like people overrated him last season, and this season he's not been half as good really.
Half as good as really. People just I think a lot of people like eat up the new like underdog team. People love that story. So like any team that is just doing half good and like people just start to, who are this new team in town?
Right now it's Brighton, isn't it? So
right now it's Brighton, even a bit of Brentford as well. But like eventually, like to be fair, Brentford do have a good coach, I feel.
And at least Brighton
also have Brighton also have good. But then to me, like his Villa was just based on Grealish and just a combination of luck and Martinez having no fans in the background and just a bunch of other things that just like helped them really. Even COVID as well, like all things just put together just make them have a half decent season. And now like
I think Dean Smith just doesn't know how to adapt. Like his system basically, as you were saying, his system is basically high usage for Grealish. Now Grealish is gone. He doesn't know how to adapt. And another thing I've noticed he does, and apparently what other fans are saying is he done it even when he was in the Championship, is every loss he has, he blames on refereeing. Like, and it's not even one, it's every single loss.
He does
blames
that
on poor refereeing.
He does that a lot. He was speaking about the video assistant referee. And what is ironic is that they would have been relegated, I think, 2 seasons ago. If goal line tech was working or something, like because the ball crossed the line for like one of Sheffield's goal and like it didn't count. But it's just very ironic how every single game he does do that a lot. Every single game he gets onto like either the VAR or the referees or just something not working and things like that. But that just shows that you can't even take like responsibility for like your team being poor and things like that. And even if you're going to rely on a player the way you relied on Grealish, when you do sell the player, if you're that type of manager, then you look for replacements for that player. And they didn't get anyone who was even close, a lot of people are saying it would be Buendia who would be kind of like Grealish, but
even when we were linked, I was telling everyone that guy is a scrub. He's a mediocre baller. He's one of them guys, like Mitrovic. He's clearly too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League.
Not good enough for Prem. There's
like
a
Tom
lot of players like that, Yep. In fact, Mitrovic is the perfect word for that. Like, he's a Mitrovic more or less. Like, they're too good for the Championship, or they're not level. They're not good enough for the Premier League. He didn't get a Grealish replacement, and that was it. Really,
would ESR have been that Grealish replacement? Less hypothetically.
I don't think ESR has developed into a player that you can force the ball to.
And
time.
I think and relying on like his ESR is still like what 2021. So to rely on like a player at that age is just that's too much pressure on like just him and stuff like that. Eventually he would be. Right now, maybe not, but he would have definitely been a better signing for them than Buendia, that's for sure. But I mean, even age-wise alone, but maybe like it's signing ESR would have been smarter for them because they could have had a wide like player who can score goals and still create chances for them and things like that. But I think there are other players who they could have also gone for. None really come to head right now, but they should. I just think they should have signed a Grealish replacements rather than just like taking all that cash and just spending it in places like they didn't really like need. But here they are now, and they just got battered by West Ham. So.
Good
segue.
I want you to talk about West Ham and your old manager, David Moyes.
Oyons!
Put some respect on him.
Oyons! How dare you read him, mate? I'm a Tottenham fan. I'll smash you or nothing. Anyways, yeah. I just wanted to talk about in fact, let me first give West Ham their flowers because they've been sensational this season. They've been playing very good football. They've been getting results, beating a lot of the big teams as well. They're sitting in fourth or third at the moment. Is it third?
Yeah, I think they're fourth. I think they're third.
They're sitting in third at the moment. So they're doing even better than they were doing last season. And yeah, no, you have to give them the respect. Obviously, a lot of people question whether the fans coming back would have a negative effect on West Ham because of I saw a couple people saying that the fact that they didn't have fans last season helped them, but they're playing well with fans. I feel like one thing about West Ham fans, they love their club, so I feel like that was a bit of a trash take for people who were saying that last season anyway. But just want to talk about the David Moyes revisionism that's going around. A lot of people are like, oh, look what Moyes is doing at West Ham, or we should have given him more time at United. No. It is not the same scenario at all. It is just, I don't want to see any Moyes revisionism. Like what he's doing at West Ham is spectacular, but it's not comparable to what the situation was of him replacing Ferguson. The standards at the two clubs are completely different. No disrespect to West Ham, they're a great club with great history, great passion. But
what's the history? Tell me, what's the history,
mate? Bobby Moore, mate. Bobby Moore lifting the trophy, lad. That is what a history is about. Now, but West Ham. Let's be. We have I don't know all of us, but I have a soft spot for West Ham, obviously. And you have to have respect for them, but it's completely different to United. So he even lost his job at West Ham, and then he came back.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, a lot of West Ham fans when he came back didn't even want him to come back, and like now he's doing well. Everyone's all of a sudden acting like David Moyes. I'm seeing people push him in the upper echelon category of managers, saying that we have more world class managers now. We've got David Moyes up there with Klopp and Pep Guardiola. Yeah, relax. He's doing well at the moment, but he's not that guy. Like he's okay, I guess. He's a good manager. But what he's done with Antonio, I respect a lot as well. Antonio is looking deadly. Very, very deadly. Bowen's looking good as well. Obviously, Declan Rice, we know what he does. Just the whole team is just playing very, very well. So you have to give him their props, and you have to give Moyes his props. But I feel like people need to slow down a little bit. It's still early in the season. We could see the walls fall off, I guess. Hopefully it doesn't, because I like to see West Ham doing well. But yeah.
Now, what you said is perfect, man. Like, it's still early in the season. Like, we don't want to be overboard with it. Like, I feel like we're getting to the point where you're starting to see the foundations of what potentially could happen maybe like this time in March, May and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's one of them ones you don't want to be too forward with it. But if Sarab was here, we would have done the Rice prop, innit? But yeah, we're all seeing that Rice is a quality player, innit?
He's all right. He's a decent geezer. He's a good player.
Yeah, Rice is amazing. Don't even know what else I can say because he could like I thought he was like just limited to the holding position in CM, but the fact that like he can play as both a progressor and also like a holder, like he's more or less like a complete midfielder. Like it's insane, really. I feel like next summer, like everyone's just literally anything with money should just go for him, really, because at this point it's getting ridiculous. Ideally, probably, obviously, I don't want him to go United and stuff, but yeah, like if United were smart, I feel like they should just go for him. Like at this point, it's so obvious that like he can do like almost everything you need in midfield, and he's young and like he's available and stuff like that. But it will be a lot of money, but yeah, I feel like he's worth it.
Yeah, Rice is quality, man. He's doing his thing. Let's you know what? Let's go there. I'm going completely off the rails now. Yeah. Already said let's start a dialogue. He said KDB has 0 assists. What's the dialogue you want to start? What's the dialogue?
The dialogue I want to start is that if this were like a lot of players, there would be serious like talk about it. But I haven't seen one person mention. I'm sure a lot of you didn't even know that KDB hadn't had an assist this season. But yeah, and obviously now City are not looking too great on the table and stuff like that. But yeah, let's just see what KDB, like there's a lot of
sorry, it's clear of that bomb.
People,
Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
People
slander,
put
I'm all
KDB,
here
people
for
put
it.
KDB too highly. Like I remember there was a time on Twitter where I was seeing people say like he was better than Kaka and everything, and
That was wild.
that didn't sit right. That didn't sit right with me really back then. And like yeah, and obviously I already had a KDB agenda then, but like yeah, so 0 assists. He hasn't won any European like trophy in his life. He was meant to be the like Belgium golden generation. They haven't done anything. He hasn't won a champion.
Keep going.
He star padded Prem trophies under one of the greatest coaches of all time, which everybody in City has also managed to do.
Wait,
he
Grace,
was
what
injured
manager
their
of all
best
time?
season.
Wait, what? Wait, pause. Wait, what? Grace, what?
So one of the
Grace,
greatest
what?
managers of all time.
Okay, yeah, carry on, yeah.
Yeah.
And for their best season,
fine.
their Centurions, he was out for the majority of the season.
And for the best season, he was out for the majority of the season. He's not turned up in the finals of like the Champions League game, that Champions League game final. He just looked like in the game against Belgium played Italy. Yeah, I mean he did nothing. I don't know what else to say really. It's just there's a lot of things that he's rated highly than he actually is really. I mean, how did he even manage the PFA player? That one was a disgrace as well.
Yeah.
That was a big disgrace. That was a
We need to
big
get into
disgrace.
that one. We need to get into that.
No, you see with KDB, yeah, it's one of them ones. You know, there's certain players, yeah, where they're good in it. You rate them in it. Like KDB's quality, world class in it. But I don't know. For me, I don't really talk about him like that.
Is he though?
He's world class.
Relax.
At the moment,
your boy LeBeau hasn't dropped one world class season in like
let's go.
5-6 years.
I literally have a KDB agenda, but like the thing is that I'll always be logical. Like I know KDB is world class. I know he's a very good footballer.
World class, but I don't think he's an all-time.
But he's not yet. I actually think he's an all-time.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
I don't think.
I think
he's an all-timer.
I think he's an all-timer, but I just don't think like I don't think he's that highly. Like he's
like
one of those. Like one of those.
He's not that. He's not the old guy.
Not like he's still good. Yeah, he's not the guy that would make you like go like wow, like you know. But he's up there, and I think he's an all-timer. But he's just one of these like lower tier all-timers, like not like the Kaka them.
Like lower tier all-timers.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't be doing lower tier. Nah, if you're
I mean, like literally, if we're calling Messi an all-timer, like there has to be a level to it. Messi, they're tiers to all-timer.
Nah, Messi's an alien. Messi's an alien.
Really. Anyway, Kevin the PR. Let's get into this. Like I already said, 0 assists. I feel like last season he was so mid, so average. Yet somehow, I don't know whether the oil merchants in Man City slid the PFA a bit of money or whatever, but he absolutely, I could name about like 10 players who deserved it over him. That was an absolute disgrace. He was mid last season.
Can I say something?
Yep.
It was better than all of Pogba's season. Carry on.
What? Kevin the PR season last year was better than all of Pogba's seasons.
Yeah, United, yeah.
Okay, what's Pogba's best season at United then?
You tell me. You tell me. Bro.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the season where obviously Mourinho got sacked and
we 6 months.
Even that was half a season.
Was he the one where he was leading all your stats?
Yeah. That was probably his best season.
6 months. 6 months.
Okay, I'm not comparing him to Paul Pogba.
The purple patch.
Like, Paul Pogba doesn't get any prop from any of these PFA associations. Like, I'm talking about Kevin the PR here.
He got into the PFA team of the year though, so I'm not sure he does.
Okay, but Kevin the PR had a stinker of a season on time I managed to come out with PFA player of the year, where Ruben Diaz, he wasn't even the best player on his team. He wasn't even the second best player on his team. He wasn't even the third best player on his team. It's not
actually true. That's actually true. Because Foden, Diaz, and
Foden, Diaz, and Gundogan.
I don't know about Foden. Foden.
Yeah,
Foden had three players on his team had a better season than him.
Even I would say Stones even had a better season than him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even
I'll say Cancelo had a better season than him.
How did you say Cancelo had a better season?
Half his team had a better season.
Even trolling. I feel like a lot of his team had a better season than him. Really, like they were the ones who really won them the league. Like he was just like one of the background guys.
I feel like Cancelo last season started strong, and then
that's there was a period of time where he wasn't in the team and they were playing better, for being honest.
Yeah, I remember that moment. Yeah.
Come on.
But yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, it's just November 0 assists. That's something that a lot of players would be getting.
But to be honest, with Man City, which of their players, barring maybe Bernardo,
has
have
been
played
playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's the thing in it. But like, he's meant to be. If he's really that player, he's meant to be the one who is
meant to be that guy, man.
That's
true. That guy pulling
That's
the
true.
strings and all of that. So
Tick tack.
if you're rated that highly, then you need to live up.
You're
to
the man.
stuff
You
like
need
that.
to show.
And the fact that I've seen no one really talk about it still is even despite
Exactly,
them
we're
losing
waiting.
to Palace.
Like I said, he's a weird player. Like everybody rates him in a sense, yeah. But like for me personally, I've never gravitated to him like that. Like I know his quality.
He's a robot. He's not like apart from Man City fans, like we appreciate what he does on the pitch, but as a personality and as like just a general player, he's not really someone you would gravitate to. He's a robot that plays in the Guardiola system. He's like.
But what I say with that is Pep has done that recently of late is systemizing player, because the KDB I saw at Wolfsburg isn't the KDB I'm seeing now. That KDB at Wolfsburg had flair. Like that's one thing I say. KDB reminds me of Gerrard a lot. Like back because he has the physicality where he's physically strong. Like he can just ride tackles, but he's got the passing range. I don't know. He reminds me a lot of
Gerrard
Gerrard.
played with a lot more intensity. Like Gerrard played like there's 5 minutes left of the game. Even in the first 10 minutes, Gerrard was trying to force everything. And sometimes that was a good thing, sometimes it wasn't. But I don't think KDB has that same intensity. I think he's more...
I think got a dog in him.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah. Nah, KDB... Like, I do hear what you're saying, Ori. Like, I totally understand it. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, there's certain players here. It depends on if you ask the person how highly they rate them. Because more time when they're giving players prop, it might be just like, it's in the moment. Let's give them
yeah.
But sometimes more time, they don't truly like really rate him like that. It's just a popular person at the time. Like, KDB he's good in it, but he's not like, I've never seen him as like, oh my days, this guy is fucking
he does have his moments. He though.
He can do
that. He does silly stuff.
He has blowed my mind a lot of times, but
he has. I'll give him that.
That final tier, like I've never rated him as highly as like a lot of players who have played in like people like Hazard Prime, a lot of players their prime is Prem and things like that. But like even Salah, like his prime and things like that. Like I've never seen De Bruyne's prime as like that level really. Maybe close to or just about, but like he's just still just slight tier below for me really. But no denying he's still a world-class player, still one of the best of our generation.
I think this is how we describe him. He's one of the guys, but he's not the guy. You get what I'm saying?
Not the guy.
He's not the guy. Like when a real bad man when he steps in. KDB ain't no bad man.
I feel like Ori was saying before that he doesn't get a lot of criticism. I feel like it's because he plays for City. A lot of City players escape a lot of criticism because no one really cares about them. They're just a bit irrelevant. Yeah,
if you play for City, your how people view you is up 50%. Like look at Laporte. For time, people said Laporte is the second best centre back in the league.
Without people, I've always been on to him from like very start. He's sauce. I mean, he showed that.
Rodri as well, meaty baller.
No, Rodri's. No, I said Rodri. No, Rodri's actually good.
Rodri,
he's meaty.
I still don't.
Rodri's decent.
I still don't rate
Rodri. No, Rodri.
I rate him a bit more now, but I still know that like he's not that good in my opinion. Really. He's not that good.
Like Rodri's not world class, but he's just good. He's just a good player.
He's an average player, bro.
Average is a bit harsh.
Average is a bit harsh. Not average is in like
you wouldn't slap him in Everton, would you?
No, not average is in like averages in like Premier League. I mean, averages in like in
top level.
Like not like top, like Tom Davies is an average player.
If you're comparing players, if you're comparing Rodri like to Fabinho, player to player, like Fabinho is like clear Rodri in terms of that. So like at the top level, I hear that actually. But just on a general basis, he's good. He's good enough. Let me see.
But yeah. Like a lot of City players always avoid. Even Cancelo when he was poor as well, no one really came onto him like that. It was just a bit like, and a lot of other players, even Ederson, his shot stopping is not really too like over.
Yeah.
Like no one in the media really focuses
Yeah,
on it.
two
Obviously
howlers
because
against Palace the other day.
obviously because he's good on the ball and stuff. But like
Yeah,
no
good
one
distribution.
I've
Makes
always
everyone
said-
really
forget.
talks about.
I've always said Alisson's better than him. I've always said
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
Alisson is
sure,
better
for
than
sure.
him.
Alisson's
Alisson
better
has always
than him.
been better than him because Alisson's a way better shot stopper. And
That's
Alisson
one
can
thing
also is
people
also
need
good
to
on his
give
feet
credit
as
to
well.
Alisson. His 1v1 ability, bro.
He's
off
actually
the line
he's
is
the best in the world.
insane.
He's definitely the best in the world. He like the way he closes
Think
down
so.
the players. I think so for sure. Like in terms of like 1v1,
Mm.
like going up against Alisson, like he closes up the angle so well, so well. He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous, really.
Yeah.
I just think All Black is still just slightly better than him, like overall. But in terms of 1v1, Alisson is that guy. He's quite close to All Black. I think they're definitely the top two. And they're just quite close to each other, really. But yeah, Ederson is still just like a tier below, in my opinion. So his shot stopping isn't that good, really. But Ederson is the best keeper on his feet in the world,
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, which is why Pep doesn't really mind, really, because like he always even tell Ederson like to take the risk and everything. Like that's what he wants. He doesn't really care about shot stopping because ideally, when you create your perfect team, you don't even want to be conceding that many shots. So like what you really want to focus on is like keeping the ball and like playing from the back and things like that. So that's why Pep is not too fussed, or else he would have like banned Ederson like a long time ago. But yeah, a lot of City players, they always like avoid scrutiny for some reason. But I wonder when people do like mainstream media will start coming onto De Bruyne and stuff like that. But yeah.
Probably when he starts to decline in, like maybe next couple of years when he starts to decline a bit.
Probably.
But someone like him will last a long time actually because he's very
The
intelligent.
game's not built.
Actually, I feel United City, if he drops a howler, then people start coming on to him. I feel because that's a very big game and it'll be like very.
He's gonna get bodied by McFred, isn't it?
And then that
He's
would
gonna
mean
dominate him. Watch.
But I don't know.
That
He's
was
dropped
immediate pivot.
thinkers before though. Like
Nah,
it's
but
not
like
new.
the context of that game is very important because like it will be one of the most viewed games because everybody likes to see it's a Manchester derby, so a lot of people will be watching and like there'll be more mainstream media would like cover it, like people will see it, and also United will
And
go
Ole
level
is under pressure. Yeah.
and United will go level on points with City and potentially Arsenal. But yeah, let's talk about that. But
Yeah.
like City will also become under scrutiny more. That like people finally realize that whoa. Like City are on this level because people still haven't deeped that like how close City are to like being outside of like the top four, stuff like that.
They've been poor,
So,
man. They've been really
They've
poor.
been poor, yeah. So once people all that stuff starts to start, like people start to realize that like what have City been doing all season? Like what's KDB doing? That people now start to notice that he has no assists and like because a lot of people do not know. When I tell you like you guys, everybody's like,
I did not know that. I'll be honest. I did not know. I
That's
haven't been
another
looking at
thing.
him like that.
That's another question I think we should talk about. I feel like City's team year on is getting worse and worse. Like the way they play, I think they're getting worse and worse. I think they're regressing.
Yeah.
I've
They're
noticed
definitely
that.
regressing.
Yeah.
When I think about their Centurions team, the Sterling and Sani, that was like you literally go to City like scared, like literally so scared. Sterling and the way they also used to swap wings, like they were more or less demons, like one of the best like winger duo like ever, like
Easily.
Prem and stuff like that. I mean after Salah and Mane really, but yeah.
There's actually so many things that we have to talk about because people are doing revisionism on Mane now, saying that he was never this good. I don't like it. I'm hearing it. Wow.
I feel like
Mane's prime is probably even better than Salah to me. That season where he won the Golden Boot, really.
I don't
know about that, but I wouldn't say that.
But I said like last couple of years, 2 years ago, Salah and Mane were close in my opinion. You could say
I think okay, I'll say Mane's prime is better than like Salah on a regular day, which is probably like a lot to say. But like Salah's prime is better than Mane's prime, yeah. But
I always thought Mane was more
prime
well-rounded than Salah.
Yeah, I always did think that. That as well.
Until this season. This season Salah's just said, "Hey,
it was Salah downloaded the DLC."
It was just really from last season when Mane like dropped off in form. That's when like I think 2 seasons ago, like I think I did rate Mane. There was points I did rate Mane like slightly higher than Salah. But now, like, yeah, Salah just like his consistency and just like how he also did become more well-rounded, really. But yeah,
You
But
know
yeah,
what?
back to City. Yeah,
Let's
it's
let's
insane,
even
really.
talk about because we were talking about City another day.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were gonna talk about Liverpool. They're saying VVD's looking a bit shaky nowadays. But
Hey, what's
the
that?
thing
What's that
about
sounding?
their attacking,
What do you say?
is it coming at an expense for their defensive solidity? Is that a question that we have to start asking?
Have they looked bad defensively, to be honest?
They concede. That's why I've been saying Alisson's making bare one-on-ones because they're not, because the midfielders are a lot more higher up. You know, the midfielders before they were a bit more
But Fabinho's
conservative.
been out though.
That's the thing.
And Fabinho's a very important asset of their defense.
Piece of the puzzle. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. Even with Fabinho, I thought they were a bit because Fabinho was playing when they lost when they drew 3-3 with Brentford.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
playing.
but I
He
mean,
was playing.
I do hear that.
You could also just take this as like a one-off, really. But I don't know. I know Fabinho in that midfield does like help them like sustain like pressure and like containers, things like that. So him being out is a huge loss and stuff like that. Which is why I also think we should try our luck against Liverpool. But
you could, man. You actually could because like you're seeing this now. You're seeing Naby Keita like against Man United. He's making third man runs. Liverpool's midfielders 2-3 years ago.
But the problem is our midfield as well. Because if we had like a solid midfield, like I would have been way more confident. But like ours is also we don't know. I don't even think like we don't really have a holding player in our midfield because now we're playing like false 4-4-2 more or less. And like I don't know how that would go really, but we'll see. I think Partey is better than all their midfielders. I feel on his day really. So. We should see how that goes, really. All the available midfielders. If Fabinho is like, I don't know what Fabinho's injury is saying, really, but yeah. But in terms of how they're playing defensively, yeah, I think they have looked shaky, slightly shaky. I just feel like they don't really have that intensity in the defense that they used to have at some point. Robertson hasn't also been looking so good, really.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think he
Trent
just
has
had
been
like
very good there going forward.
Trent has been good. Trent has been good going forward. Really, yeah. I haven't really looked at his defensive side too much. Then centre back
He's
wise,
been decent defensively.
Van Dijk, I wouldn't say like he's not the same, but I don't know. Obviously, like he definitely peaked in that season where he like matching that kind of level is very difficult. It's like it's more or less like the way Salah peaked and they just like remain consistent. I feel Van Dijk will always be that consistent, but. Yeah, right now he's just not at like peak level. So I guess a couple like players that people are taking advantage of things like that. But yeah. We'll see how they do towards the season.
I think with Liverpool, because it looks like they want to be a bit more attacking, a bit more. They've always been possession orientated, but the fact that I think they're looking to keep the ball more. I think Thiago is probably even more important. Someone that can keep the ball is a bit more of a controller where you're not going to be in those situations where you're going to be in the turnover as much. So I feel like having Thiago there is probably a bit more important, just having a pure controller in the midfield. Mm-hmm. So probably a midfield three of, I don't really know if a Fabinho, Thiago and Henderson is really like, in terms of balance, the best midfield three. I don't know.
I don't know how Henderson and Thiago.
The best three they could do right now for me would be Henderson, Keita, and Fabinho. I think that's out of all the players they have. I think that would be just dynamics wise as well, because like it will more or less just be like Hendo, and more be like Fabinho sitting, and then Keita can make like those third man runs, and then Henderson just like runs about and just like balance wise, it doesn't make sense more or less. Thiago is more. Keita's more of that player to make a third man run rather than like Thiago himself. Thiago would like to sit and like control stuff the same way Thiago would. So the same way Henderson would. So it will kind of like clash.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah. Let's just see how they play with Thiago. I don't know what Liverpool fans are saying about him. But
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's looking interesting what they're gonna do with him. But he's always injury prone, man. You can't rely on a guy like that. So,
yeah, true. Chelsea look like they're running away with it, though, slightly.
Nah, if your main goal scorers are fullbacks, that's a worry. I'm sorry, you can't rely on.
I saw this comment about that Ben Chilwell made that he said Tuchel said that he
He wants
wants
his attackers to defend and defenders to score goals.
I don't know if it's score goals.
I think XG catches up with Chelsea, man. They've been.
No, I don't think so though, because Liverpool, when they won the league, they overperformed the XG by a lot. So that's why your top players, like you should really
It is,
actually
but
overperform.
did Chelsea have top players the same way Liverpool had top players then?
Not top class attacking players. Yeah, that's true.
That's yeah.
If Chelsea are
'Cause,
managing to like still score goals, then I mean like they're doing something right, I guess. But I mean, when your defenders are like the ones scoring majority of the goals, it's kind of worrying. But I mean, I guess they aren't complaining like until anything does start happening results wise. But yeah, right now it does look like they are like looking very, very, very good, very, very good in terms of like running away with the title. Maybe not. It's still kind of close. And how many points are you? Like 3? Yeah, I think it's 3 ahead of Liverpool.
I haven't even looked still.
Yeah, and like that just takes like it's 3, and they have a bet. Actually, you have a better goal difference.
Yeah, no, we don't concede. We're strong.
Yeah.
But Mendy's been doing very well for us this season.
And that's not necessarily a good thing in terms of your defense, though. If your goalkeeper's man of the match, it means that.
Yeah, but your hardest things, but actually they don't. I don't think they really They don't really concede that many chances. Really. It's a well-coached team. Clearly, it's a well-coached team. But they just need to be more quote unquote normal. Rely on your forwards more for like set scoring and things like that. But right now, I'm sure they're definitely not complaining. But yeah.
Ramsdale prop I'm hearing as well, man. Ramsdale's getting his plaudits, man. What you man saying?
Everyone was hating on them before.
Yeah,
Man did an interview and said his favorite food was what? What was it? Did you see rice and peas? Yeah, Aki was talking with something, and then all the Arsenal Jamaican fans started loving them off.
His distribution is nuts, though. I'll be honest.
Bro,
It's insane. It's insane. Like, I think there at some point there'll be a debate, like just after Edison, like if he actually is the best on the ball. But obviously
even on the volley as well.
But he's on the like the way he catches the ball, like half volley. I feel like that is just it's insane. Like from a goalkeeper, really.
Well, you saw the one to Aubameyang, innit?
Yeah. Right through the midfield.
See the way.
Credit to Aubameyang for his touch as well, but like that ball is just insane, and like he does it so much where like he opens up space and things like that, and he's so confident on the ball. So like there was time the ball was coming to him, and like there were like 2 players marking him, and then he still had time to like take a touch forward, just like before he now like hoofed it long, even though like he was under pressure. So, but it's actually insane, and he's like really helped us in terms of build up play and everything. Yeah, like that is some talent ID. So that's some serious scouting they did right there, because no one saw that.
Yeah, one day I think we'll talk about the Arteta talent ID thing that people are talking about.
There's a case to be made.
But I need to really. With Arsenal though, there's this thing that always happens, especially with new signings. 6 months in, the first 6 months they always do well. And everyone goes overboard. Even Mustafi, the first 6 months, he done well, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's incredible."
Mustafi was slightly less than 6 months, to be fair.
Like
people started clocking
Mustafi.
People started clocking Mustafi like after a while.
There's so many players.
Yeah, you guys tend to hype up your new signings.
Like I've said. I mean, everybody hypes up the new signings. Really, it's natural. But like I've said, and I've always continued saying on this show, I'm still not very confident in Ramsdale's shot stopping. I'm still iffy about that. He obviously did make a good save with the free kick against Spurs. His shot stopping, I do think that he would probably get, cut out on it sometime this season. But I'm not complaining. Like, I can't expect the player to be perfect. Really. He's going to make mistakes this season. And you just have to move through that and improve and like work on things and stuff like that. But the fact that he's confident and he's taking risks, like a lot of the times, I wasn't upset with Leno for like making mistakes. Like, keepers make mistakes. Like, it happens. Obviously, like when you get to a level, you don't make as many mistakes and things like that. But a lot of players make mistakes. Keepers make mistakes and stuff. But I wasn't really upset about. I was just more upset about Leno because he wasn't doing anything else. He wasn't confident on the ball. He wasn't he wasn't coming out for free kicks. He wasn't coming out for corners. He wasn't coming out for anything. He would just get the ball, hoof it long, give the other team possession. They'll come back and attack, things like that. Like that was really upsetting me about Leno more, rather than the fact that like he made some silly mistakes and things like that. But so now we just have Ramsdale who's like doing, what exactly we want more or less. And once you just have a player who can do something you want to your system, it's not all about improving like the player and like making them better. Because obviously no one is saying Ramsdale is perfect or anything, and he's obviously going to make mistakes like this season, but he can do what we want, and it's just about him doing it better and like continuously doing it better. Yeah, fingers crossed though. Fingers crossed though. Let's hope he doesn't like turn out like most of our signings and things like that. But
time is the best indication for that. But
time really is.
People, we've been on here for time as well. Man, know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Put a comment below. Shout out to Adej Free Nigeria. I think he's been commenting. Shout you out, bro. And but yeah, man, get the word out. Get the word out. Get people following. Obviously, we always got stuff planned for you guys. So yeah, make sure you keep supporting the boys, man. Keep supporting us. But yeah, people, we out. Peace.